the God, the college choir leads us.
I have a maker. He formed my heart before even time began. My life was in His hands. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. I have a Father. He calls me His own. He'll never leave me, no matter where I go. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. And hears me when I call.
Great welcome marks a great event. I request Dr. Annie Stephen, ma'am, head of the Department of Professional Accounting and Finance, to welcome the virtual gathering.
A very good afternoon to all. Hearty welcome to all the esteemed guests and distinguished participants to the Faculty Development Program on Qualitative Research Methodologies. Research plays a pivotal role in advancing knowledge, fostering innovation, and contributing to the overall growth of our academic community. This Faculty Development Program, organized by the Department of Professional Accounting and Finance, is a testament to our dedication in nurturing a culture of inquiry and innovativeness among our faculty members. And on that note, let's begin the session. Let me begin by extending a very warm welcome to all gathered here. A very warm welcome to Reverend Father Jayasvi Thomas, Financial Administrator, Christo Jayanti College. Thank you, dear Father, for being part of this session. Once again, a hearty welcome to you, dear Father. A heartfelt welcome to the Chief Speaker for today's session, Dr. Joel, Big Data Expert, Asia Pacific International University, Thailand. Dear Sir, we feel honored to have you in our midst today, and on behalf of the entire Christo Jayanti family, I extend a hearty welcome to you. I also extend a very warm welcome to all the heads of departments, program coordinators, teachers, researchers, and guests from other colleges. Thank you all for being part of this session. Let us together embark on a collective exploration of new horizons in research. Wishing you all a wonderful learning experience. Thank you.
Annie ma'am has been spearheading this department since its inception with her perseverance and hard work. We welcome you, ma'am, to this program.
Thank you.
I now welcome Father Jaysvi, the financial administrator at Christa Jayanti College, who has been instrumental in steering the ship of education at our college. I humbly request you, Father, to kindly address this gathering.
Dear respected Dr. N. Joel Gekwa, our HOD, Dr. Annie Stephen, all the faculties of professional accounting and finance. We are very much privileged and really blessed to have sessions on qualitative research methodologies. It's a kind of blessing for the college as an institution in generally, and particularly for the department professional accounting and finance. For us, it's a kind of blessing. Representing the management, myself, thanking you, extending you gratefulness and thankfulness to Dr. N. Joel. And as we all know, research is something, it's all about a thoughtful mind, transcending one mind to a reality, to a truth. So thank you so much, Dr. Joel, for assisting or helping us in different ways, or equipping us of different thought patterns to dedicate ourselves in the process of research. And as a representing the management, we promise you, sir, at least some purpose of qualitative research will be produced from us as a teaching community together. So thank you so much. And then as we all know, as a teaching faculty together, we are more kind of familiar with quantitative research, and then it's a kind of new learning. It's a learning aspect. A learning curve should be initiated, or a kind of learning curve to be more formulated by this kind of sessions. So once again, representing the management, thank you so much, Dr. Joel, for assisting teaching learning process. Once again, wishing you all the best, all the faculties. May God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father, for your impelling words of inspiration. Now, I take the opportunity to introduce the resource person of the day, Dr. Gekwe N. Joel. Sir hails from Rwanda and has got a rich academic experience. Sir completed his MCA from Bharatiyar University and PhD in Computer Science from Karpagam Academy of Higher Education, Coimbatore. Sir has worked with Laurie Memorial College at Bangalore and then took up the position of administrator for a long time. Now he serves as a lecturer at Asia Pacific International University, Thailand. Sir contributes his expertise in big data and IT courses. His expertise and passion for teaching has made a wonderful positive impact on the academic community. We are really blessed to have you amidst us, sir, today. I request you to take over the session.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
Do you speak Kannada?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think I'm in the right place. I think another word which I know in Kannada is Eravnaru. Eravnaru. How many of you speak Kannada? Majority?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Very good. So I'm so happy and privileged to be the part of Christu Gentoo. Thank you very much for the invitation. And I would like to thank Father Jairus for the warm welcome and the recognition of my presence in this session. And I also want to thank Dr. Rinu Mohan. I think she is a convener or the presenter for this event. I can't forget Dr. Nirupa Chauhan. If I'm right to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. I would like to thank you so much, Dr. Nirupa, for the invitation which you extended to me. Thank you so much, and God bless you. God bless you. All right. So I was told that I have 1 hour. Is it 1 hour or 45 minutes? How long do I have? Dr. Lino, how long do I have?
5 to 15 minutes you can take.
50 minutes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll try my best to not take all of the time, but to try to, to compress the content I have just in this 50 minutes. Now, first things first, let me try to share with you the PowerPoint presentation, which I have prepared today. And we look what we're going to look today, right? So you let me know if the presentation is shared with you. Hope you can see, right? All right, so I want you to learn to start from this picture. There are 3 things which I value in my life. I value the family, I value God, I value my country, I value people. They became 4. They became 4. So I value my family, whom you see here. This is my beautiful wife, Judith, and my 2 children whom God has blessed me. One is Mila, another one is James. The young one is James. So they're my co-workers. They are my, my existing. So they help me in every way. Though you see them, the small one, you see them, but they help me in the terms of emotion and at least trust, somebody who can trust me. It's your children at this age, they trust you as much as they can. So I really love this. I enjoy my kids and I learn a lot from them. Next thing which I have here, the next part which I have here, just to share with you, this is the university where I am in. It's Asia Pacific International University. This is a beautiful place. When you come for the first time, at the entrance of university, you will see, you'll be able to see this gate. You will see this big wall, which is written Asia Pacific International University. It's even written in Thai. So this is the entrance. When you plan to come for holiday in Thailand, feel free to call me, to text me. I will give you as much as I can to make you stay happy in Thailand. This is my university. This is the administration camp, the admin building. And this is called Thai. This is a symbol for university, as you can see them here. Next part, or the next thing which I have here, is to show you, this is my flag, my country, Rwanda, but I will give you the short introduction of who am I so that we can know what you're going to do during these 2 sessions which I have. This is my president, Paul Kagame. This is my flag, and this is how we write my country, Rwanda. And here we say Kigali, it's a capital city. So if you have any plan to go to East Africa, please visit Rwanda. It's a beautiful country, safe country, where you can be treated as a queen, king, and a guru, because we respect Indian very, very much. So this is me, and this is who am I. Next part, before I look to the introduction part, I forgot to mention something here. I am a Rwandese or a Rwandan by nationality. Second, I am an Indian by love. Third, I am the citizen of this world. So I have 3 nationalities. One is a Rwandan by birth. Second, an Indian by love, because I love India. I stay in India for a long time. I'm an Indian. I am an Indian by nature. So this is my wife. So I am part of you. I think I'm not so strange. I'm one of you. All right. So today we're going to look to the introduction to qualitative research. And in today's is going to be quite familiar topics. It's going to be familiar topics, but with the extra masala. I try to put some masala so that you can be able to go along with me, so we can be able to get something, at least something from today's session. Introduction to qualitative research. I just want to show you the walkthrough today. So what is going to be our today's walkthrough? We're going to see what is the research just for a few seconds, and then we look qualitative research and roadmap. So I think the key important which I focus would be the roadmap of qualitative research. And also we look, what do I need to know about qualitative research? And we look at how do I plan my qualitative study, because many times we faculty or teachers or lecturers, we stuck somewhere. Sometimes we blame saying, we are so busy, we have so much things to do at university, at work. So finding a time for qualitative research or any research is quite hard. But today, I believe and I trust in you, you will make it. I'm pretty sure. I will be glad to see, like, you know, how many, like 60 papers next year from your university about the research. You have to make your university, you know, be well known through the research, through either qualitative, because the focus is qualitative, at least through qualitative research, which I consider to be quite easy to start, because we look, you know, what it means and how do we start it. All right. So the next, the next walkthrough we'll do is going to be why do I need, literature review, and also how do I build my own study from the literature review, and we look, understand qualitative terms, and the last is gonna be the methodology of qualitative research. Try my best to not take maximum 50 minutes. I will only take below that one. Don't be bothered about the points we have here. Let's start fast things fast. I would like to start with this one. I would like to receive either text or you unmute. This is not a mess, it's not a sermon, it's a presentation which I want to interact with you. Now, not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. That's Albert Einstein. What does it mean in the world of qualitative research? This is the hint. This is the beginning. This is the gateway to enter into the qualitative research, even into today's presentation. Not everything that can be counted counts. And not everything that counts can be counted. This is the first point. Now, what is that? If what you consider to be counted is not counted, and what you consider to count is not counted, then what is that? That's a key point we need to start from. I consider this saying, this quote of Albert Einstein in all aspects of my work. Sometimes I count my job, my office as the best place. Sometimes I forget my home. We men, sometimes the nature we are, busy in the work. Sometimes we forget our wife, we forget our children in the terms of being busy. We count something which is not accounted to another side. Sometimes we count something which is not accounted to another part. So in qualitative research, now I want you to let me know. Either you may text, I will try my best to go through the chat box and read through what you get through this. So not everything that counts can be counted can be counts. Not everything that counts can be counted. Now, starting from this, how do we relate this quote to the qualitative research? I'm pretty sure you may raise a hand and say, we have not yet touched into qualitative research. I consider you as a people who knows qualitative research. How do we link these two? I will give like 5 seconds. Is 5, I think 5, no, 5 will be too much, less, maybe 30 seconds. I will be waiting. Either you unmute or you text, no problem. how do we connect this to the qualitative research? This is addressed to the people who are already, who have already done, the qualitative research, or who have already started. Yeah. I'll read it. No problem. If you text, I will read it. No problem. Right? By the way, am I audible? Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Very well. Thank you. Very well. Thank you. So please feel free. Let us be together. You try your best. Any answer is correct. It only depends on the presenter. I will filter based on what I have, but any answer is very correct. All right. Okay. My time is ticking down, it's counting down. So you keep thinking about that one. I'm minding about my time. So you keep thinking about that one. Next, now, what is a research? I will give you the definition, two definitions, which already know. Just we have to review and see what we're going to look. What is a research? I will give you the general definition and educational definition. Pardon me. The first one, research in a general definition. Research is defined as a way or systematic process which you need to provide trustworthy answers to the given problem. I have experienced this one. If there is no problem, there's no solution. Whenever you have a problem, be happy because you're going to find a solution. So, systematic process of providing a trustworthy. If we have the word trustworthy information, it's not about rumor. It's not about fake. You mean you have some, concrete information and you need to address the problem. You need to address the problem. So this is general definition, which we all need to agree with. So we need to have a systematic process of providing a trustworthy information about particular problem. Very interesting. Next part. Now, how educational define this? It's the same as general, just little thing which is called, educational problem as this forum. Research is defined as a systematic process that is used to provide now we want to provide trustworthy information about educational problem. I caught from, I get reference from Gay, and I said, this is quite easy to understand based on these two authors, what they have given. So as we can see, if it comes to educational, we want to tackle problems which are in education. Means problem we have, we need to solve it. For instance, or for example, why many students are dropping the course, or here we call them the course. Maybe in India, we call them department. No, we call them the subject. I think, is it a course? I quite forget. Is it a course or subject? Student, they take subject, right? What subject are you taking, right? So you used the word subject. Here we use the word courses. So what student, I think, I'm sorry, in India, there is no drop. You fail. Student cannot, drop a course. For example, he is not happy with you. He cannot say, let me drop it. No, he has to carry the course or the subject till he finished. So here, a student may drop a course in any time he wants. Not any time before the final exams, he can drop the course, and in his transcript, we can write W, withdraw, not fail. But if we look to the Indian, in our, in the British system there in India we use, we find that why a student, keep failing the subject. Why a student lose interest. There is a funny part in my student when I used to always to wonder why my student always bunk my class. I'm coming to the class, but the fellow, they are standing outside. And the moment I enter in the class, they go somewhere. And I have to go behind them. Now we need to understand why kids, why students are really not interested in the course. So we need to provide a solution to that problem. So now this is the general definition of the research. Now, what is a now qualitative research? This is important. I love in a definition because definition gives you a way or a foundation to start your work. If you can define your work, if you can define the working environment, you really survive, you really enjoy your work. But many times we don't define the people, we just assume, we don't give the proper definition. So now, what is a qualitative research? Qualitative research means look and understand something about people, interact or feel. That's qualitative research. You look and try to understand, which means qualitative research, something which you cannot count, you don't measure. You cannot say, maybe I may look you from 1 to 5 or 100 to 100. No, you don't measure. You look and you give the way you understand. Okay? Point number two. Try to grasp meaning or experiences that people have. By the way, have you received my questionnaire, which I passed to Dr. Nirupamam? Hope you did, right? Hope you, I'm sorry, I will check because Wednesday we will have another session, which will be practical side. So I will use the same concept that will build our qualitative research from there onwards. You can even, mine, you can even take from that as your research paper or research work from that. You can even, brainstorm, you can build your own research, your article from there. I'm pretty sure in the next month, you have to publish your article, each one of you. So here, you try to grasp the meanings or experiences people have. Keep in mind, experiences differ or experiences are very different. Madam HOT, Dr. Annie Stephen experience is quite different from Dr. Rinu. It's very different. It's even different from me, but she can grasp them and then she can write. You know what? I'm just writing a book based on my experience. I'm writing a book based on experience I had with a student. So probably soon, not soon, in the near future, I will release the book based on my own experience about failing educating student. Very interesting. Failing educating student. I'm so passionate to do this, but why do I still keep failing? Then I have to, based on my experience, I have to build my own research, I have to build my own concept in order to reach them. I'm going to release it because of success of failing and the success of knowing where I fail and how do I reach them. So based on the experience you have, you try to grasp or to understand. Another part to understand this qualitative research, figuring or interpreting out the challenges in life. So we do qualitative research. I mentioned that qualitative research is a quite interesting and quite important in all aspects. Number one, you don't need numbers, data, which is also quite challenging because you need to look to the experience or have the right things or something, and then you need to interpret them. So you need to interpret out the challenges in life. So this is going to be called qualitative research. Means something which is counted is not counts, and something which is counts is not counted. In other words, we don't need numbers. We don't need numeric. We need text. We need, anything else apart from the numbers. So that's the first, the first part to understand about this one. So let me read for you just to break what you are saying. Somebody said, okay, I will not mention the name for the credentials. Let's talk about them. Okay. I'll read for you. This talks about in-depth observation that may not be expressed always in numbers, but highly matters. This is the object of qualitative research, to explore depth of phenomenon. Thank you so much. I will give you credit, Mr. Sam Pretty. Thank you very much. That's correct. That's what we mentioned is correct. And someone else will say, okay, great. All right. So now let's proceed. Yes, that was to address the question which I asked there. So we cannot give in a form of numbers. We have to give them in a form of either context or in a form of text or phenomena which we face. There's no number representing them. So now let's look to the roadmap. To our roadmap for qualitative research, where do we start? Where do we end? Just for your information, it is divided into two parts. Qualitative research is going to be divided into two parts. I beg you, even if you have gone through, don't feel bored. This is the foundation, and to help us refresh what we have learned, what we're gonna see. Next, number one, decide the question. The first part to start qualitative research, decide question, or what could be the question. Always, as we look in the next slide, question always start by how, why, and what. Only this, why, and how. For example, how do I, let's say, how do I not be able to publish an article in 2 years? It's an example, okay? Why? This process works like this way. So you look, you have observation, you want to frame yours. So this is decide the question. You decide the question. The second roadmap, literature review. Why do you need literature review? You need to know what other people said to your question. You raise a question, why there is a crisis, why there is, in a finance, let's say, why we have so much, let's say, why we may put in terms of product, why the product is, someone is selling some product with what we are selling, but why are we failing, either in a marketing or anyway? So you need to look at that one. Another point to go. The first one, decide the question you want to address, look literature review, what others have said, so that you can build your own question. Number 3, ideal sampling size. You don't need too much literature reviews. You need to have minimum. Sampling means take the necessary one, and then build your question. Number 4, choose methodology. I think the part of methodology I will mention, in the depth about methodology maybe on Wednesday session. So you choose methodology. You decide the question. You look at the literature review, what others have said, not on my own opinion, but what others have said to my question. And then you sample, ideally sampling the size, how many questions or how many questions do I need? Even this can be applied the next step, how many data do I need to collect? So this you can sample, you can have this data. And also something to inform you here or to remind you is that qualitative research does not need much data. You need minimum data, which is best for you to build your research. And all this process we have here is known as a research preparation. You prepare your research from decide the question, literature review, sampling, and choose methodology. The next phase is the actual part we are going to make the implementation. So this phase, now you start to collect your data, We look, how do we collect the data? There are different ways, as you know. You can either collect through interview, survey, observation. You can collect the data in this way. So collect your data. Number two, analyze your data, which you have collected, or what the result you get from your data. And number four, guideline of research journal. Now, the next is will be the last, which means you need to decide where I'm going to present this article. Now, you need to follow the guideline. For instance, Christugento has the guideline for the paper, for your journal. If I'm going to submit, I need to look at the guideline you have, which is the last stage. But the first stage, which is research preparation, is quite important. If you do not decide the right question, then the next map, the next phases, they're going to be hampered. So they're going to go very slow. So you need to decide, what question do I need to address? What literature review do I need to get? And you choose the methodology, as we will see. You collect your data, analyze, and guideline of the research. So now, what do I need to know about qualitative research? Number one, understand the importance of context. What does it mean? It means you do not separate the original or the personal context from him. For instance, Dr. Nirupur has a context. If I take it, I should not separate from her. I need to build mine based on what she meant, or what experiences she's facing, or what experiences students have. I need to build, because research is like, we keep building like blocks, building blocks. What you have said, then I can get some ideas, I have to build it. So you do not divorce, let me use that word, would be appropriate. You do not divorce or separate the context from the origin. You don't. You understand the way and you build your own. And the next one, multiple version of reality. For instance, the way we see things will look in a different ways. Even if when I read your questionnaire, I will share with you the output of what we are doing in this short time. To the questionnaire which I gave you, we build together the same research, and then we make the sample of it, and then you can even customize based on your area and build your own research articles. So the way I see, there can be multiple versions. There are different versions, different realities. If I raise a question, for example, the question which I ask you, what do you think about open book exam and a closed book exam? Do you have a closed book exam in Christugento College? Do you have open book exam?
No, sir.
You have? No, you don't.
No.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now the question comes to me, why you don't have? And you ask, why do you have to have? During COVID, did they do open book exam? Of course, but for us, we consider they didn't do it, but somewhere they cheated. Why do you stress yourself? Let them learn. Then we will look to that one. Now I'm so glad that in Christugento you don't have. Maybe I will get a very nice, we'll look a very nice way to have this qualitative research. Can we accept open book exam in Christugento? Some they will say yes, others say no. We make a research in that. We promote, we see, right? I heard some people who say that there is a university in the UK where you don't need even stress yourself about taking exam. Just enroll. After the end of this time, they give you, assessment, data assessment. You don't need to bother about the final exam. They give you a degree. Wow. When I told my student, many of them, they said, sir, tell us that university, we need to go there. We need to go there. Right. Now, this is a question which I want to raise in you. Why don't you adopt or allow the teachers to have open book exam. Will they maximize? Will they do this? We shall see. That's the question which you need to think, right? It's correct. Other countries, other places, they do. Why don't you try as an experiment and say, okay, fine, let's see what will be the differences. And then you build your own research based on university. Maybe even after sometimes you cross again, after you make your own research, after making qualitative research, ask a student question, and then get the feedback, open a window, close again and see what will be the differences. And what will be the output? What will be the learning? So everything you can put them together to build it. So now, multiple version will be there. And next part here, we have be curious and critical and reflexive. So though you have the context of someone and there are many versions of that reality, you need to be very curious, right? Curiosity is the mother of what? Invention. If you are curious, knowing what happened, what's going on, then you'll be able, to build your own qualitative research. So these are the things which you need to do. And how do I build my qualitative research? Important. Now, how are you going to build yours? Very first point, this is very important. I consider this as a heart of what I have talked. I did not start from this, but this is a very, very important to me because I consider this as the heart or the part which I was talking. How do I build my qualitative research? Number one, you need to have something called theoretical keywords. I mentioned, now you can see I'm from IT or computer science. It should be at least greater or equal to 2. Minimum should be 2, keywords. 2 keywords. That's the way you're going to build yours, right? Now you may ask, what is the keywords? Keywords, they're like let's say, like the incidents or the phenomena which you want to build. I will give you an example, right? You need to have 2 theoretical keywords. Number 2, think so what and why. You need to build yours. Theoretical keywords should be at least 2, because when you have these 2, you raise the question, what and why, right? What and why. Example, this example will help us to understand. Example, cultural diversity. That's my first keyword, right? Cultural diversity, this is my first keyword. Second keyword which I have here is workplace. All right? Now, I'm going to build what and why. All right? What does workplace, or what does the workplace do to the cultural diversity? I build it. Cultural diversity, right? Why, you may even build why the cultural diversity is not mentioned in a workplace. We have a different culture. We have, we are different in a workplace. How do we treat, different cultural diversities? Or we have a different background, especially religion, right? You may be from a Hindu, I'm from a Muslim, from this. Then how does workplace treat this? That's a first question. Then you need to build based on, maybe there's a first question you need to have. These 2 theoretical keywords. I give you an example, culture and diversity and the workplace. I'm very sorry. I will need to have your 2 theoretical keywords in the next session before I begin. So I will need to have, each and everyone has to, to find what could be my 2 theoretical keywords. They can be more than 2, but at least have a minimum 2. And then build the question, what and why? All right? What does workplace do to the cultural diversity, or how does workplace treat or consider the culture and diversity? That will be, as you can see, you have 2 keywords, And what do? Build relationship between your two keywords. You build the relationship between your two keywords. So once you build the relationship, that's all. You start your own, qualitative research. Keeping in mind, qualitative research, you don't need to scale. Scale means you don't need to measure, to give the measurement. For example, likelet, you value from 1 to 5, you value from, let's say, it's very good, it's not good, it's average. We don't do that. But you can mix. You can mix both the qualitative and quantitative. Both you can mix. Somewhere people may take in a different ways, but I consider this to be much, much, much and more, context or text, text-based research rather than, having the likelet or what we call the measures, right? So I repeat once again, you need to have two theoretical keywords, which can be at least minimum 2. And after that, you build relationship between the two. Here we have culture diversity and the workplace. Now we need to build this relationship. How the workplace treats or consider culture diversity. That's an example I give. Now you may look in your department, in the finance, right? In the finance, you may build your own two keyword. Another example, I believe many of you, I think I forgot to include in the questionnaire to look how many of you have been in teaching, let's say more than 5 years, 10 years. There may be those who are starting, it can be even 2 years. At least if you are teaching 2 years, you have taught, different courses or different subjects. So you may build the two theoretical keywords between the courses and try to value to see how it is. I remember before, in the year of 2021, if I'm not mistaken, was it 21? I believe 2020, in the beginning of 2020, Bangalore North University, they changed, the syllabus, or they split, there were two universities split, right? So when changing the syllabuses, some of the syllabus, one of the university came up with a very wonderful courses, and others remain with the old one. If you are teaching the new and the old, you can build your own theoretical keyword to see how these two things, work together. Build the relationship between two, and then, start your own qualitative research. Next part, why do you need a literature review? By the way, how long do I remain? Dr. Rennie?
Yes, 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes, thank you. 10 more minutes, I will not go beyond that one. Why do I need literature review? I mentioned these are also important. 2 goals of literature review: understand the state of art. State of art, underline the keyword state of art, means what is the current, what people are talking, what is the update, right? So you need to understand the update. When you pick your literature review, look the latest, not the old one. Look the latest, and then look the state of art, right? So what is the current trend? What is trending now? What do I have to address? Second goal, you need to identify the gap. Look the latest, and then look another last 2 years, this gap. Now try to bridge this gap, the latest in the gap. Now take your 2 keywords, put them together, and then start to explore the literature review. This is the reason why you may need the literature review. The second phase, how do I go conducting literature review? This is very known to you all. I will just fly in this one. Number 1, you have to Google search. All of us, you have ChatGPT, you have so many things. Now, I believe you will raise, can a student use a ChatGPT in a university? Yes or no? Many people say yes, others say no. Can teacher use ChatGPT? If a teacher yes, what student no? Can a student use a Google? Different theoretical question can be there. Build them, make your own research as soon as it's still hot. Next, university library. I'm pretty sure, Kristo Gentoo, you have the very best and the beautiful university. Even if you do not have, in Bangalore, it's a hub of the best university I ever had. They have all the resources which you need. I think it's a government university, government library. You may visit it. It's very, very, very useful. Right. Next, top journals in your field. So many universities, they don't, pay some amount to the top journals because of we, faculty or teachers, we don't utilize. University Open pays for a year. Nobody has published a paper. Nobody has downloaded a manuscript from there and they do research. Next year, university close. Close means, stop, university unsubscribe, no longer subscribe to the journal. After that, we again start to say there's no journal. So many times when we have opportunity, let us use them. So you can find a Google search or Google Scholar, university library, top journals, etc. You can find and many. Now, you can find many. You can find above, many above what I stated above. So these are the things which you can look, right? So how do I build my own study from literature review? I think these are mentioned here. Understanding qualitative terms, this is gonna be to the last point, which I will focus on in the next session. I would now share with you, and the next session we go in depth based on the survey which you will answer. Will build this, these terminologies. In a qualitative research, you need to understand what does it mean code. We shall look in our coding technique. We need to understand the patterns, theme, and insight. Whatever things you collect, what is going to be the code? What is going to be the pattern? What is going to be the theme? And what's going to be the insight? Just for the brief introduction, code is a common word which people are talking. For example, I was very surprised when I came to Thailand. I told some of my students, hey man, do you need to take Xerox? Huh? What is Xerox? Nobody. They don't know Xerox. They don't use the word Xerox. They mean photocopy. Okay. Oh, you mean photocopy? Yes, I mean photocopy. So, for example, this is an example I gave. We use the keyword, the term Xerox. It's a code which we use. Whereas other people, they may say photocopy. So you may look the code, what is most spoken in the data you collected. And then pattern, you group them together, you find a theme, insight, and then this will build in our next session. Now, these are the methodologies, which will be the next day session. We look narrative research. These are the, the important methodologies which are behind the qualitative. Narrative research, what people talks or what people believe. So we look to this one, or what people wrote, and the phenomenology methodology, grounded theory, important one, grounded theory, based on the data you have, you need to build your qualitative research or make your qualitative research. That is a grounded theory. And we look ethnography methodology as well. So, and the last will be the case study methodology. So all these, I will try to go in depth in the next session if time allows. If time does not allow, I will pick one and we build our case study, which we have, and then we round up. Now, if anyone has a question, you can ask, or Dr. Rinu will give you a time. If no one has a question, thank you all.
Dear participants, you can post your queries, or if you wish, you can unmute and ask. Okay. Sir, there's a question. How do researchers determine the sample size and select the participants for qualitative studies?
Okay. The person is asking based on the roadmap which I mentioned. That's why I mentioned in a sampling size of the data to be taken, you give a limit. For example, you may say, I want to have, say, minimum, you set the minimum. For instance, you may say, I need to have, if you want to correct the literature review, you may say, I set the base of 20 or 25. Then I look to this 25, I build mine. In the case of the data, you look those, let's say you send a survey or you interviewed 20 people. This will also be enough. Then you can build on that one. So you don't need to have a huge data based on the depth you want to go to your research. You set the minimum. I suggest the minimum in the literature review can be 20. And then for the interview, you may set based on it depends from the question. For example, university, which you have, to the question which I raised, do we really agree open book or cross book? Or there can be different things. So you may say, okay, I want to ask, for example, since it's a big university, may take the business class only, or those who are taking this department, then I ask them, and then I'll have to build. So you need to choose based on the want which you want, because researchers, it keeps, being built upon. This time you ask 20, next time let me increase the number and see what output I'm going to have. Yeah.
Sir, there's one more question. If a researcher is involved in qualitative study of any sensitive or personal issues, then how will they establish rapport and build trust with the participants?
Very good question. Very good question. Now, this in terms of the personal or the privacies, this has to be the constant, or there have to be what to say the agreement between the two participants, and also has to be the get the seeker permission. If you want to work, for example, for government things, you need to get the permission. You need to look to visit the authorities based on the research you want to make, because you cannot pick any research which you may want without permission. Do you know what? Even I'm not authorized to post any of your video, any of your picture if you're in my background without your permission. So many things are there. So we need to ask permission and get understanding between the one whom we want to interview, the things that you want to work on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's one more question. In qualitative research, how can we do analysis of personal experiences?
How can you do analysis of personal experiences?
Yeah.
Right? What a person want to mean means, for example, does the person want to say that I want to build my own research, or I want to take the individual experiences and build them? Probably it needs to be elaborated so that I can address in a proper way. But the way I understand, the personal experiences may be the common. For example, I mentioned I failed in teaching. It can be to someone else. Now I need to create questionnaire, ask others based on my own experiences. So personal experiences can be changed into question to be addressed to others to see what they say. Remember, the second step in the roadmap, literature review. You are not going to do something from the bruise, from the moon. Others have experienced. Now look what others have said. Relate to the question which you have to the personal experiences which you're mentioning. Yes.
Okay. Any more questions from the audience? Okay, fine. A big thank you, sir, for today's enlightening address. It was really very simple, wonderful, and excellent presentation. So as Maya Angelou says, when we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, everyone gets blessed. So today's session, Sir taught us about the qualitative research, which is something people feel or interact. Thank you, sir, for showing us the various phases of roadmap for qualitative research, the tips on how to conduct literature review. And today we carry home the learning that you should be curious and critical when you're doing qualitative research. So as we draw to a close of the first day's session of our faculty development program, let's reflect on the importance of the topic and the importance of continuous learning in the field of education. We'll be sharing the feedback form very soon. Any other question? Shall we close the session? Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your precious time shared with us today this afternoon. We are really grateful to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.